Before the brand deals, before the emails, before brands say yes, there's a version of yourself that has to exist first. A lot of people are currently trying to get paid without becoming the person who attracts those opportunities first. And today, I want to walk you through the identity work that's going to take you from where you are right now, thinking with a limited mindset, acting like a hobby creator, to taking you and transforming you into that paid creative version of yourself that you see yourself being. Because stepping into that paid version of yourself changes everything. And if you haven't noticed already, becoming a paid creator is much deeper than just posting the content. Paid creators, they have one thing in common, and that's the fact that they think differently. A lot of beginners think, oh, I hope this goes viral. I hope my post does well. I hope brands notice me. I hope I'm good enough. Whereas a paid creator, she thinks about, okay, how can I make my content valuable? How can I make my page clearer? And how can I make brands trust me? I always give this example to my students where a lot of them will come to me, right, before working with me, and they'll be like, well, Amber, like before, I struggled to grow my following. I struggled to attract brands. And the issue is, it's because they're currently operating as the version of themselves right now. Okay, right now you're probably a creator who, yes, knows that she wants to get paid for her content, knows that she has the capability to do it, but where the misalignment is you're acting like the current version of yourself. You're operating as her instead of operating as the version of yourself who's already getting paid for her content. The version of yourself who's already getting paid for her content, she isn't worried about how many followers she has. She isn't worried the fact that her videos aren't going viral. She's not worried about those small things, because what are small things to a giant? She's like, okay, well, if I'm not getting any followers, maybe I need to get good at creating better content. Well, if my posts aren't going viral, I need to study the algorithm, see what the trends are, see what's working. So do you see how when you operate as the paid version of yourself, you start thinking differently? Your mindset is different. You start finding solutions rather than creating more problems that are going to discourage you. The truth is, you cannot think casually and expect exceptional results. The next thing I want you to do is stop seeing yourself as just posting. That is a hobby creator mindset, and it's probably the reason that you're struggling to monetize in the first place. Many creators mentally treat content like a hobby, myself included in the past, and that's why we fail to make a lot of money and to scale, because we're operating like content is just a hobby instead of operating it like a business, like a full-time job, so that it can pay us as such. The paid creative version of yourself treats content like an asset and not a chore. It's so funny because a lot of us drag creating content, but content is literally the reason that you are going to be able to monetize, so it deserves 110% of your energy. Stop posting content half-assed just because you see people posting these little 5-7 second B-roll clips and you think if you do the same you're going to get the same results. No, you need a strategy. Every single one of your posts builds perception, and every post teaches people how they should view you. So you're no longer just posting the content or uploading videos, you are building a public identity. And number 3 is us solidifying your identity before the income. Now, what I see is most common is the fact that a lot of creators are struggling to monetize right now is just because they haven't built up the identity. You are having income delays because your identity hasn't caught up. You want 10K months, but you're operating as the 1K version of yourself. So here are some signs that your identity hasn't caught up with yourself yet. Inconsistent posting. You post here and there. You have sporadic uploads. You're constantly second guessing yourself instead of just making one decision, going for it, seeing the results that it proves and moving on to the next. You keep comparing yourself to the creators that you see online. And of course, every creator has this moment where she does it, but you are doing it too much, sweetie. It's time to let it go. Deleting your content too quickly. Please don't do it. Do not delete your content. I don't know who came up with that. I don't know when that started happening, but once you post your content, keep it up there. Because I have had videos where I have felt like, oh my gosh, I don't want this on my page. I really want to delete it. They've done very well. and I've been so surprised, and they've been able to bring me amazing opportunities. Now, a common question I get all the time from students is, oh, but I already posted that. Can I post it again? Oh, but I posted that 2 weeks ago. Can I post it again? Can I do this again? Can I do this again? Yes, do not be scared to be repetitive. Repetition actually builds trust. It's that consistent, you being consistent in your messaging, you being consistent in showing up is what is not only going to build trust between the audience that you want to build, but also the brands that you want to partner with, because now you're not a liability, you are an asset. Right? There's proof behind you. You have reps behind you. So please do not be scared of being repetitive. Being repetitive is actually what is going to make you a lot of money. Your income is going to grow when your self-concept grows alongside you. Now, number 4, I want you to ask yourself this question. Who is the paid version of me? This is a question that us as creators, we don't ask ourselves enough. And this is a really important task I want you to lock in with. How does the paid version of yourself show up online? How consistent is she? How is her relationship with God? How does she speak? What does she not tolerate? What does she post consistently? And what does she no longer overthink? That's what I want you to ask yourself. Write down what the paid creator version of you looks like. Because it's not enough to just think about it. You need to actually write it down, then be about it. That's how you're going to get results. That is how I was able to literally 360 my life. Because instead of waiting to become a paid creator to start acting like one, I started acting like a paid creator and I became one. I started showing up how a paid creator would show up. They post high quality content. You want brand deals? I started reaching out to brands. Now, step 5 is paid creators build internal proof. You are no longer waiting for external validation. This is you posting the content even though you're scared, even though you feel like it doesn't look right, even though you're not confident, you're still gonna do it. This is you improving as you go before the applause comes along. This is you consistently learning every single day that you can before the results start showing. Do not be afraid to be seen trying. Do not be afraid to be seen building. Because where most people fumble, that I've seen a lot, is we crave a lot of external praise, but we don't get enough internal from ourselves. You need evidence from your own discipline that you can become that paid creator version of yourself, that you have what it takes. You don't need to prove it to anyone else. You need to prove it to yourself. Now, step 6 is so important, and I think it's one that a lot of people don't consider, but your content needs to reflect the identity that you want. Your content needs to reflect like the brands that you want to partner with and the brand you yourself want to build. If you want paid opportunities, your content cannot consistently communicate confusion. Your content needs to signal clarity, aka you need to be clear in who you are, what you do, and what you have to offer to people. Why should people stick along? Why should they stay on your page? Why should they follow you? What are you giving them? Your content simply needs to make people feel like this creator knows what the heck she's doing. You know you've created a good piece of content when it makes people feel something. Feel entertained, feel emotional, feel happy, feel knowledgeable. Step 7. This is one that a lot of creators are going to hate, but we need to stop romanticizing motivation, because romanticizing motivation is the reason we don't get things done in the first place. Because the truth being, if you want to step into that paid creator version of yourself, paid creators rely on discipline and not motivation and not inspiration. They rely on being disciplined, on having systems, and that's exactly who you need to become so that you can get paid. The truth is, some days content feels exciting, you feel creative, you're on top of the world, and other days content just feels repetitive, you feel, a little bit burnt out, a little bit frustrated. But you still remaining in that paid creator identity version of yourself is what is going to keep the ball moving, is what is going to move you ahead, is what is going to consistently allow you to attract paid opportunities. The last lesson that I have for you is that your paid creator identity is going to be built by repetition, by you doing things over and over again consistently. Because you're not going to become her the paid creator version of yourself in one moment. You're going to become her by identifying what it is the heck that you want in the first place, what your life looks like as that version of yourself. You're going to become her by posting again, by speaking, by learning, and by staying consistent. That is how you're going to become the paid creator version of yourself. Every single time you show up as her, the girl that's getting paid for her content, you bring her closer and closer and closer to you, to the point where you are going to be driving your dream car. You are going to own all the designer bags that you love. You are going to be able to upkeep your maintenance. And most importantly, you're just going to build a life that you truly enjoy, all because you became that paid creator version of yourself. You built your identity. You built the version of yourself needed to even make money from her content. What got me to this point was I had to stop seeing myself as someone just simply hoping for these opportunities. And I really had to start moving like someone who can attract these opportunities. I had to prepare myself for the life that I was asking, because enough time we sit down and we ask God, I want my dream car. God, I want my dream house. God, I want this. God, I want that. But you need to give God something to work with. You need to build that version of yourself. You need to become that version of yourself who God can bless with those things, so that when you get those things, you can look after them, you can handle them, so God can bless you with more. You need to prepare yourself. Becoming a paid creator is no longer just about getting a brand deal. It's about becoming that version of yourself who can continuously attract paid opportunities, because now your identity supports the life that you say you want. In my next video, we will be talking about habits of the paid creator version of yourself that you need to have. But until then, if you are a creator who wants to grow her platform, build her influence, and secure brand deals, I want you to click the link below, because you are going to be able to get access to my Paid Creator Society. Inside the Paid Creator Society, it's a community where I'm going to be able to pour into you and help you become that paid creator version of yourself that I know that you can be. So I'll see you inside there. It's completely free to join, and I'm so excited to have you in there. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and TikTok. They'll also be linked below if you are wanting to see more from me, and I will see you inside my next video. Bye.